You know what I mean? Noob has not been like, he's kind of, he's been in there, but he's kind of like been like just like a palette swap with like Scorpion and Sub-Zero moves, etc. So now it's like, okay, this is the second time NetherRealm's putting him in a game. What's he gonna do? And they really kept him traditional to, like, I guess how they kind of designed him in MK9. Only like they really, so going back to what they said on the panel, like they really wanted to keep a character of Mortal Kombat. Like he may look different, and they may play a little different, but they wanted you to look on the screen and say that's Noob Saibot. So I really like how, you can recognize him. He throws his shadows. I really like how the shadow run works. I kind of felt like before, his old shadow moves where you couldn't really appreciate the finer things. Like now you actually see the shadow guy. Like he looks like he's running. You know what I mean? Like you can really see like he's throwing a running shadow at you. And I don't know, I just really like the concept of the character, how they kept him true to the way they originally made him in Mortal Kombat 9. Which is where I think, besides MK Trilogy, which is kind of like whatever, which is where I think they really defined him for what he is. And they really kind of stay true to that. So I think just from a fan perspective, which is very, very important, and I think it goes unnoticed, but it's just as important as the competitive aspect. I think the presentation was awesome. I think he looks great. The way he's going to play, he looks very Noob Saibot-like, how he plays, portals, teleports. He's got his projectiles. He looks good. The projectiles look like they're good zoning. They're not super fast, but they occupy space, going back to the whole neutral, thing. So even characters we've seen like Cabal or Noob that would be zoning characters can still zone, but you can see it's not out of control. It's still, the zoning is more in pace of the movement. You know what I mean? As opposed to, you don't really have to play Super Mario Brothers to get around it. So I think really they did a great job in how he looks like he's going to play, how he can play his style in the current neutral. And the presentation was awesome. So he looks great. And I would obviously Sub-Zero is the character I want to play the most, simply because I think he's the character we've seen the least of so far, and the least explained about, at least on like some of these bigger streams. I know Ketchup and Mustard did a thing with him. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to playing Noob. He's one of the characters I'm looking the most forward to playing.
Yeah, I do want to add, like you said, he seems very, very similar to his Mortal Kombat 9 incarnation. Like, he's got the the running man, which looks like an overhead. He's got the the low projectile, which looks like a low. He's got the teleport, and he's got some couple of other new moves that they added. But to me, it seems like he also got the shadow up kick, which again is from Mortal Kombat 9. So it looks, even like the Vim pose again, it's kind of looks just like Mortal Kombat 9. It's very, very similar. So it's like it kind of goes back to what you were saying about, establishing him as a, like almost like like a character who's been there for a while. You can kind of, you can always expect Sub-Zero to throw, ice balls, Scorpion with a spear. So I think this is like the first time we actually see Noob. Okay, so this is how he's gonna play. He's actually, kind of be like a hybrid zoner, but not completely out of control. He's gonna have some footsies. He's gonna have the teleport. So again, to me, a lot of the characters that I've seen so far don't really interest me, but definitely Noob Saibot. I was very, very excited when after I saw that. So he's definitely going to be one of my main characters that I try. Um, are there any other characters that you guys are happy about? If you look at, for example, Jacqui, seems like she was changed a lot. She was kind of like a hybrid zoner in Mortal Kombat X, but now she looks like she's going to play pretty much all Rushdown. And in fact, one of her, if I may use the word, variations is she's kind of like Cheetah. So expecting, she's going to have the machine gun. She was going to be a bit more zoning, but she looks like mostly like she's going to be a Rushdown character, because they pretty much removed all of her zoning, all of her long range tools, replaced them with like footsie tools or offense. Because she's going to have the leap, and she's going to, at least in one of her variations, we can suspect.
Well, we don't know that yet because they haven't shown all her.
Yeah,
that's true. But I'm just kind of like going by what we've seen. It looks like she's going to be a Rushdown character. Like that's kind of what I'm.
If you look at Jacqui was not a zoner. She just had a zoning variation. If you look at her other two variations, they were more mid-range type of characters.
True.
So I would say they kind of kept her true to that. I mean, like Ed Boon said, in every Mortal Kombat game, they really try to make the characters play different. But I think this game, they try to make them play similar, but still kind of, have them play a little different. So I think they kind of kept that mid-range, kind of, play in the mid-range, get in and be aggressive play style with her. They might have changed up how she did it, but I think it's kind of like, okay, Jacqui is not going to be a power zoner. She's going to be that mid-range. I think they did a better job of redefining what a character is and keeping that consistent. Like HQT Predator, is he a zoner? Or is he an offensive character? Or what is he? Like all three variations were something else. Now I think they take what the character is and they keep that consistent through all three variations. You may have different ways of doing that, but they do a really great job of defining what the character is going to be and having them do that very, very well throughout, basically how any of the variations you could make with them.
Yeah, that's a great point. Especially comparing what she looks like she's gonna be, and comparing it to the other two variation that's just full auto. I think that's a good point. So Zyphox, just to give you some context, we just start talking about Noob Cyborg. Now we're currently going to Jacqui. Are there any character reveals you want to focus on for right now?
Well, obviously Liu Kang, you already know. Like I'm so tired of waiting for Liu Kang. He's supposed to be like the main NetherRealm villain. Like I know they're gonna do something like towards like, oh, Liu Kang and Katana getting revealed at the same time or something dumb. Like, they should have been done this. Listen, but I'm just thinking, like, how every character basically has a weapon. What is Liu Kang's weapon? Nunchucks? Like, is he gonna bring out nunchucks? Like, what is he gonna do? You know what my theory is? Is that it's just gonna be his flame hands, and y'all are all fucked. Literally all fucked. Extra chip. That's just his normal trait. Don't even need to fucking buff it. Like, listen, like he had like imagine like if they didn't bring back flame hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What about you guys? Want to also comment on Kotal Kahn? He's another character I think stays true to his Mortal Kombat, X self. He's got the, he's gonna have the command throw, and he's just gonna be very, very footsie space, kind of like he was
Yeah.
in MKX without the, ridiculous armored, launcher. So
I think the best way to put it is, to quote the great Theo, he has well endowed normals. He has very heavy hitting. It's almost like it rattles the screen kind of normals. Like he's a very big, powerful character, and that really is emphasized in how he plays. I think he looks great. Really, I don't think there's a single character I've seen that I wasn't disappointed in. I mean that I was disappointed in. So every character I've seen, I've been very impressed with. And like I said, nothing I've seen has disappointed me so far. And there hasn't been a character that I haven't said, I'd like to try that character out and kind of see. The pacing of the game has really got me interested to try a lot of characters out, just because it's more my style, my pacing. So a lot of these characters look really, really interesting, and Kotal Kahn just yet another one on the list that I really can't, looking forward to getting my hands on and really seeing what he can do.
let's also discuss the first DLC, who's going to be Shang Tsung. Maybe we didn't really see any gameplay. It was just like an introduction to what looks like it's going to be like some kind of like crypt, or some kind of side game.
Yeah.
So really, we really don't know much of, we don't know really anything. We don't know anything about his special moves. We don't, there was no gameplay footage. But are you guys happy to see Shang back?
Yeah, it's a great choice. I think NRS did great by including him. Shang Tsung is an iconic character. I'm glad to see him back, and I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with him, because in a lot of the older games, he's known to transform to every character in the game. So,
Tom, your opinion?
That's a great idea, actually. We, with technology as powerful it is now, how are they going to do his ability to shapeshift, or is it going to be more free forming? There's a lot of variables with Shang that I think we're all looking forward to seeing. Or is it going to just be like a customized thing where you can pick one move from each character and kind of like, I don't know, alternate through variations? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see. I will say, one, there's no way I'm buying the microtransaction of the crypt. I'm actually going to spend and do it this time. I just love Shang Tsung, the concept of him as your guide and host in the crypt. I think the crypt has not been that cool since Mortal Kombat 9, where you actually want to do it and like hang out in the crypt and unlock stuff and see what's in there. I think that's really, really good. I love they brought Kerry Tagawa in it. I know that was something that they were trying to do or he was interested in Mortal Kombat 9. They didn't bring him in, but it's good to see him back. I mean, I think to most of pop culture, Kerry Tagawa is Shang Tsung. I don't think they could have picked a better choice to play him in the movies, or probably to portray him as a voice actor, or even like in his image slightly in the game. I just think it's a great choice all around. Like Rio said, Shang Tsung is an iconic character. He's one of the most iconic characters in fighting game history. I want to say more people recognize Shang Tsung as a boss than M. Bison. So that really tells you how iconic he really is.
Yeah, that's well said. Guess I may disagree a little bit on the M. Bison thing, but I think that's another discussion. But let me also mention another thing, and this is mostly coming from the Rain players, but I do think it should be mentioned in the Noob Cybot trailer. If you in one of the stages that he's fighting, you see what looks like a blue cyborg being held captive to some extent, or being, I don't know if it's captive or being repaired, whatever the case is. And people are speculating that it's Hydro. Now, if you don't know who Hydro is, he was in MK Legacy. He's in Sub-Zero's clan, and obviously the Rain players, me included, are hoping that he's in the game if we can get any, if we can't get Rain. Do you guys know who I'm talking about though? As far as the
I'm not convinced it's Hydro. I think it's just Cyber Sub-Zero.
Tom, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it could be either. I'm not really sure. They could go
Like,
with Cyber Sub, or they could explore some new lore. They certainly have explored boundaries before in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised either way.
but wait, isn't Hydra like a Mugen character? I didn't know he was actual character.
No, he was in one of like the TV animated shows or something like that. He's like to me, I like NRS DLCs because they usually surprise us with, it was Scarlet and MK9, then we got Tremor and MKX, and I'm hoping, like it said, kind of like this weird character that, maybe has never been in a fighting game before, but he or she has some fans, and then they end up putting him in, him or her in the game. That's kind of what I like. I'm kind of hoping the same thing happens with him. Because if you look at, if you listen to Ed Boon, you read his Twitter, he's always like, well, we're not going to include any DLCs that have been, DLCs, previous games. So I guess
I hope Ed Boon breaks that deal he made, because it's kind of odd to not do a DLC character again. Let's say for MK20, many years from now, they're not going to do another awesome character that happened to be a DLC.
Well, again, I'm not saying, whether I agree or agree. I'm just saying, so pretty much we're probably not going to get Triborg. We're not going to get, Tremor. Like anybody who's, been not Rain, because he's been DLC.
Yeah, I mean, if we go by that rule, we're not going to get a lot of characters. No Tremor, no Tanya, no Rain,
well,
no Freddy, no Jason.
yeah. Well, I do think he means that. So, but Hydro is a character who's never been in an NRS fighting game before.
Yeah, and he is a water character.
And again, he's a water character. So, I mean, we'll see. It also kind of got me excited, but we'll see what's going to happen. Let me transition and talk about the beta, which will be next Thursday, from Thursday to Sunday, and feature Cabal, Jade, Scorpion, Baraka, and Scarlet as the playable characters. I hope they'll add more, but I don't think they will, but it would be nice. What are your expectations? What do you hope to gain from the beta, etc.?
Well, I don't know. I wish they would have added like a couple more characters. Maybe changed up like the first 3 that we already got in the stress test. I mean, I understand why. It's also like, a precursor to the game coming out. Like, we're going to have the game literally 1 month from today. Like, isn't today the 23rd?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 month, literally like 30 days. So it's like, it's cool.
It's
It would
better
have
than
been.
nothing. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, it would have been cool. Like, had we gotten like, obviously we're getting Cabal. Like, I just feel like Cabal is going to be the best out of the 5 characters.
Are you hoping for practice mode? Are you also hoping for one-on-one online so you can invite somebody? Not wait.
There's not
That
going to
would
be
be
a practice
cool.
mode in the beta. Come on.
Yeah, I don't really like. I know the stress test is a little different. They wanted stress test and matchmaking. This beta could be a little different. They might end up actually like letting you invite your own friends or whatever to play, just because it's not really like they're not really trying to test out the server as much as they're trying to let people like test the game out for them, you know, in general, and see if there's any bug crashes. They get all the information from you playing the game. So it would make sense if they, you know, they had they would test the online feature of, you know, inviting your friends or whatever the case may be. So it could happen.
I would have liked to seen 3 different characters. I understand the point of, you know, it's not everybody had the stress test. It was not public, kind of like this is, because, you know, pre-order. But and they didn't get their hands on Scorpion, Baraka, and Scarlet. Maybe they might want to, so I understand that. But I'd like to have seen maybe at least, if not replace those 3 with 3 others, at least maybe give us another third. Maybe Johnny Cage or Cassie or Sonya or someone like that.
You think they might
Um,
add them in later though, like they did
No.
for the Injustice 2 beta?
No. And I don't think there's going to be a practice mode, because I think it's kind of like, you don't want to give away but so much of the game. The exploration and the discovery process for you to do on your own, that comes when you buy the game. I don't think they want people sitting in practice mode for 10 hours the whole time. You know, I think they want to encourage people to get out there and be interactive and play other people. I also don't know if there's going to be a way to invite other people, simply because I know we're going to touch on this in a little bit. I figure the exhibition would be more like a tournament or versus each other, unless there was no way they could ensure that they could meet up with each other within a reasonable time frame, which the only reason why they wouldn't is it's going to be an open beta with only player match available. So from what I'm not saying I'm right on this. I could be completely wrong. But what I'm saying is that I think that I don't believe that, from what it looks like it's probably going to be very similar to the stress test, only it's going to be 2 more characters, and it's going to be open so that pretty much anybody that's pre-ordered the game can get it. I'm very excited for the 2 characters they did choose. Cabal is an iconic character. Goes back to, you know, Mortal Kombat 3. Jade everyone loves Jade, going back to when she was like a hidden selectable character to fight, not selectable, but a hidden character to fight against. So I think it's a great choice. A lot of people have been really looking to get their hands on Jade, especially. So yeah, I think it's a great choice, and I'm looking forward to playing against them both, or using them as well.
And there's going to be so many more people online this time compared to stress test, because pretty much everybody that pre-ordered the game is going to be able to play in this if they choose to. And I'm glad that they put in extra characters like Cabal and Jade, especially Cabal, because you guys know I like Cabal as a character. I'm going to mess around with Jade and Cabal the most compared to other 3, because I already dabbled a bit with Scarlet, Scorpion, and Baraka, but I'm going to give them all another shot again. But more so Cabal and Jade this time.
I do think, I understand not being able to practice, like Tom said, that makes completely sense. You know, you buy the game, then you can explore, you know, as much as you want on your own. But I would like to see, you know, 1 versus 1. I think that would really, because then honestly we wouldn't even need practice mode. I mean, people know, you know, obviously if I want to test something, I invite Rio, we can test for 30 minutes and we can play. But you know, I would love to have that feature, because I mean, there were some issues in the stress test, you know, like people decline, they don't want to play you if you have a good record, because, you know, we already talked about this. I don't want to really see that. And it's really hard to get games sometimes, you know. I mean, especially because the game is new already as it is. People really don't know what they're doing, you know. And I think it would, you know, help players, you know, with combo wise, and, you know, just knowing the basics, you know, as far as the gameplay is concerned.
I agree, but you got to look at it from a company
It's gonna-
standpoint. You could do that, play around, get your fix in the game, try all your combos, try whatever, and then say, I kind of had my fill. I don't know that I'm going to be that much more enjoyed with the full game. I'll go ahead and refund my purchase. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, just not even, it's great that we got anything at all. And whether we do or don't have practice mode, I'm thrilled, because they don't have to give us anything. They could just say, yeah, April 23rd, guys, I'll see you then. But I just don't know if there's going to be a practice mode available. I think if there were going to be, I hope there's one that would really help out. I would personally love one. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I would say no, but I'm hoping for one. So
um, I was catching up with your Brady cast because you made a video that Rio linked me to, and it has to do with this top, I think, 11 Mortal Kombat influence that will be chosen for some kind of event coming up on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
mhm.
I'm not really sure what the hell is going on, and I would kind of need a bit more details to figure out, at least from my opinion, to so I can weigh in. Would you mind explain that to our viewers what's going on?
So basically, there's going to be an exhibition on the final day of the beta, um, which I think is awesome because that's pretty much when we're like, it's finally hit us like, wow, we had the one beta, and then we have this beta, and then it's finally going to hit us like there's no more Mortal Kombat for a little over 3 more weeks. So we all want to get our fix in as much as possible on the last day. And a cool feature of that is going to be what ELEAGUE is doing. They're doing basically the top 11 most influential and popular kind of players. So pretty much all you guys at home, your favorite players, your favorite streamers, all that time you guys have gone and supported your favorite player, supported your favorite streamer, these guys who have really influenced you to watch MK, to play MK, to get an MK. These are the guys that are going to be there. So while you're not voting on it, in a lot of ways, your support has already casted your vote for you over the years. And you get to see those guys who you supported for so long, they get to play. And they're not, and the cool thing is it's interactive. Um, like I said, I'm not really sure. I said that I thought player matches, whatever. It could be because maybe that, they couldn't link up, or maybe they really want to be interactive. And this is going to be fully interactive. So basically, the 11 competitors win points by playing random online opponents, kind of first come, first serve, um, and racking up points. And they get more points if they can do so and get wins with all 5 of the beta characters. Now, you
Oh,
guys who are
that's kind of whack.
Now, you guys, no, not true. Because look, you guys who are watching at home, you're watching and you see, Dragon, or I don't want to speak for any name. I don't really have no idea who's going to. I just throw it out there for sake of argument. You see a player that you really like or you really want to play. You say, man, this guy's searching right now for opponents, and you go online and I'm not saying this is how it's going to work, but I'm just assuming the interactive part. And you say, let me see if I can get this guy right. And maybe you join him and maybe you beat him. It's like, wow, I took some points away from this guy. You could either watch to support your favorite players, or whether you want to, play your favorite player and say, wow, it was awesome, I got to play him, or at least try to play him. It's kind of interactive. We're trying to link up. Or hey, maybe your favorite player is in the lead and you want to try to get a win on somebody who you don't want to win, and maybe take some, prevent them from winning some points so that the guy you're really cheering for in this exhibition can come out ahead. So it's basically completely interactive with you guys watching at home, unlike a tournament stream where you have to you watch the matches and, oh, it's nice. You actually get to try to jump in there and play yourself. So I think it's a cool idea. It's being commentated by the Ultra David and Mr. Aquaman, 2 great commentators, and both really good friends of mine, especially Mr. Aquaman. And yeah, I think, from what it says, I would assume the most popular people in the community. So you got to look for top streamers. I would assume for all the top NetherRealm streamers to be in there. Obviously popular tournament players and just guys who just influence the game, like guys who have really been really influential in helping people learn and getting into Mortal Kombat.
That's a very powerful word, that how they're using top influencers, because that can mean many things, Like like when I think of that, I'm thinking it's going to be between either the top tournament players, like Tom said, or a top content creator. We have a ton of them. Like when I think of the top tournament players, the people that come to mind are, people like Sonic Fox, Smeej, Tweety, Rewind Hayate, Dragon, and so on. And then content-wise, you have people like...
But why wouldn't they say top tournament players?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The way that they worded it feels like it's going to be more than what they want it to be. Because when they put top influencer, it could mean like, tournament players that have inspired players, or people that have been streaming or making content, or just have helped people either want to get into the game and so on. I think it's a pretty strong word choice from them. That can mean more than one thing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, actually, because
yeah, because like it could be tournament players. I'm sure they influence a ton of people. Same thing with the content creators. Like for content wise, you have people like Ketchup and Mustard, Shujinky Dink, Destroyer, Honeybee, Scar, Tom, Super. There's like so many of them, and they're gonna be choosing 11 people. I'm not sure who's gonna make the cut, but it's gonna come between a lot of people.
Dude,
There's a lot of people
listen,
that can make this.
let me ask you a question. Who provided beta codes for all one of those influencers? I'm just saying.
Obviously, you, Zyphox.
Zyphox, why was your first reaction that it was whack? Do you want to make an argument against it, or?
Of course, man. Like I don't want to see like Rewind beat Johnny Donut 727. Like come on. Like I want to see like like Rewind versus Sonic. Like remember that match at the freaking reveal? That is what I want to see versus like
But they want to make
fucking
it
Dragon.
interactive.
Yeah, they want to make it interactive. But here's the thing, though. Even though it's people searching for random people, the people you come across online, it can be
So it
either
could
you're gonna
be
come across
somebody
someone
good.
who's super good or random. That's what makes it kind of fun. You come up against someone that you don't know, but it's like, oh shit, this guy's got this sick ass Jade. Like, dude, this is crazy.
Oh, best believe I'm
It
being they're
adds,
searching.
yeah. So I think it's awesome. And also, I mean, who do you guys predict is gonna make it? Because damn, top influencers, like I can think literally 50 people off the top of my head that have influenced people in the NRS community.
Well, I think influence is a word that's you can use.
That can mean anything.
Well,
It can mean
I'll tell you what it
tournaments,
means. Well,
content.
I think it means tournament, and I think that the number one thing is they want to advertise the game. And let's be serious, they want to advertise the game
Yeah,
for free.
basically, it's gonna come down to the top 11 people that have had the biggest impact in the NRS community that have like. I don't know. When I think of it, I think people like shoe-ins. I think for sure, obviously, Sonic Fox is gonna be one of them. He's probably one of the biggest people that have influenced a ton of people.
I would agree.
People like him, Samij, Rewind, Hayate, Dragon, like those 5 locked in. Then you have people like Ketchup and Mustard,
I would agree.
Jinky Dink, Destroyer, Honeybee, Scar, even other people like Super and other very popular players. 11. It's gonna be hard to boil it down to just 11 people.
Well, again, I don't think it has to be just tournament players. Again, like Tom
yeah, that's
said,
why
that has
I'm
nothing to do
mentioning-
with because nobody in this game, the game has not been released, so nobody has even placed top 8. I think to me, it has more to do with content creators because those are the guys that you look at. Maximilian gets more views than all of the MK streamers combined. He's got like 1 million followers on. He's got 1 million.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So it's not necessarily about. I think they want to advertise the game. Obviously, they want to advertise it, for free because that's based on the players. How popular they're in the community, who listens to who. I would think is probably the most important aspect. Tom, go ahead.
The word on the street, and we know the word on the street is unreliable, was that Maximilian said, and if he did this, it's great. And this is the kind of thing Max would do, like, hey, let somebody else get an opportunity, which is awesome, and
If he did that, that's
that's
very
really the
noble
kind of
of him,
person
very
Max
awesome.
is. If you've ever met him personally, Maximilian is all about growing the industry, and he probably realizes, hey, another guy that can be recognized for purely NetherRealm games will really help the community out. And if this can give them a big boost, all for it, So if this is true, Maximilian, awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Well, speaking of who's gonna get it, can we all agree on Sonic Fox?
For sure.
Yeah, I would agree on Sonic.
He's influenced like probably the most people.
I would say
Yeah.
the most.
in
I would
NRS
say the most
community.
popular players in the community. Whoever.
Definitely Sonic Fox, definitely like number 1.
I would say the fan favorites are going to do it. So whoever our most popular guys are going to be in this.
Hayate's another one. Him, Rewind, Samij,
All great choices.
Dragon, they're very popular.
All great choices.
But I know they're all tournament players. What about the YouTube, the content creators?
Oh, content wise, you have people like Ketchup and Mustard,
Who are
Jinky
also
Dink,
great players.
Honeybee, Destroyer, Super.
But should
Star.
ketchup and mustard get both?
I agree. They should at least 100% for sure. I would like to see them
100%,
both.
but both though. Like I don't see how that's necessary.
I mean, maybe, but
I mean, they both put in a lot of work.
I would
equally.
love to see at least one. I would like to see both. I understand your point. That's 2 spots. But yeah, I mean,
The thing is, there's so many content creators. Even though like I've only named like 10, there's way more than that.
I would love to see them.
So yeah, it's gonna come down to between a lot of
PL,
PL's
Foxy
one of them.
Grandpa, just
Foxy for sure.
Yeah,
That's
there's
a
a
good
lot of
point. I do
choices.
think,
Like I said, it's gonna be around. I think it's gonna be around 50 people that they're gonna decide around, maybe more. Like Theo too.
Theo's a great choice.
I do think, yeah, that. Well, I'm assuming they're probably going to try to spread it on, different geographical regions. I'm sure we can all agree. to that.
NetherRealm games are kind of funny. Like, there's always like people you're not sure will be in. But there's that group that 100% will not be in at all. And of course, I don't want to put anybody on brow, but it kind of sucks because some people like it should be based on popularity and whatever. And there are some people out there who I know have told me, look, I don't know how they're doing their invite, but there are a couple of guys that I would like to see in. I know I spoke to PL, who I would like to see in, and Foxy, who I would like to see in. I think Foxy has heavily influenced the European scene. To say otherwise is ridiculous. I would like to see them both in. They're both very popular, and to say that PL is not highly influential, when you like, I don't know, when you have three pieces of hardware, man, it's kind of hard to say you haven't influenced anybody.
Yeah. No, I mean all the people you've mentioned have influenced people. Like, look, regardless who they choose, the 11 people that they're gonna choose are going to be players that have influenced people, and like they're not gonna be surprises to anybody.
Yeah, and no matter who they choose,
Like when we see the list, we're gonna be like, oh,
I would
like,
love
of
to see
course,
Theo.
like it's.
I personally, I would
Yeah,
love
like-
to see Theo. Theo has not streamed fighting
Yeah.
games as much of lately. Theo is one of, if not my favorite fighting game stream to watch when he's streaming Injustice. There was rarely a time when I didn't miss his streams. He plays very analytical, he plays very footsie based, very pace, very defensive. With stuff I really love to enjoy in watching someone play. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see him in there. They just have Tweety. I think Tweety's he streams every day. Silver Eye.
for sure.
Silver
Tweety
Eye's
puts a
another
lot
name.
of
We haven't
hours.
put
Yeah,
Silver Eye's
Silver Eye
name in
too.
there.
Silver Eye streams a ton.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys who influence a lot of people. It's going to be definitely a hard decision, but I think no matter who's in there, I think they'll all highly deserve it, and I think this is going to be great. And I like that it's interactive. I think overall this event is going to be great. You got a lot of guys, newer guys, who are making a lot of content. Some of these guys may not be as known as Ketchup and Mustard, but they're still putting up video after video after video. And some of these guys, something like this could just be what they need to really kind of like people know who they are, where to find them. So I have no problem with someone getting opportunity, someone who's, coming up and really pumping out a ton of content that maybe not as people may not be as familiar with. So I don't really think
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think there's a bad choice to make here.
Like Katana Prime has been streaming lately. He'd be
Katana
a good choice.
Prime
And
is
you know who else is a very
fantastic
good
choice.
underrated streamer?
Yeah.
You know who else is a good underrated streamer? Baby. I don't know if you guys ever watched
Who?
his stream. He's a very
Who
good
is?
streamer. Baby. Baby.
Yeah.
Plays Glow.
I've seen him, and
Yeah, dude. I think he's gonna blow up. As a
and
big
KP
streamer
is another one.
because his streams are
KP
great.
as a popular player, he's definitely very influential in the community. Like I said, there's just
Yep.
too many. There's just so many guys out there. It's hard.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna come between a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like,
I would also like to see, obviously, Ketchup and Mustard. They pretty much have to be on there just because just the amount of information that they have put out since just the release of MK 11, and they're also from a different geographical region, so it's not just American people. Like you have to have
Yeah,
spread it
exactly.
around. So those are like
Tekken Master 2, actually. I can't believe nobody mentioned
who is it?
Tekken Master.
Yeah, Tekken Master. But again, if the twins get it, I would like to see just one get it. Just so other people have more opportunities. I'm sure those two guys wouldn't even mind anyway. So, well, on the behalf of the podcast, I want to thank you for listening again. Please leave some feedback, whether it's on YouTube and Test Your Mind, and we hope to see you playing the beta next Thursday. Bye, guys.